morning. And this time we'll be do an interview with Miss Mary. Have a good day, Miss. I will ask you some questions to ask about obesity and poor nutrition. What do you think about the obesity?
Um, I think that obesity has been an increasing problem, especially here in North America, particularly in children. Um, and it is something that we do need to take care of for sure.
Okay, what do you think about the poor nutrition?
Now, malnutrition is pretty sad. Obviously, there are parts of the world that have a higher rate of malnutrition. Um, but it's sad because usually the people who are affected by malnutrition um, have no other option. They're malnourished. Sorry, they have malnutrition because they don't have access to the proper kinds of food that they need.
Okay, Miss Mary. The other question. What is the main cause of obesity in the world?
Um, I would say that the rise in obesity is probably directly related to the rise in fast food. Um, People are so busy these days that instead of trying to cook good meals, they'll go and buy a burrito or they'll go to McDonald's. They'll buy something from the store that's already made, already prepared, but it's not healthy. They're fast and they taste good, but it's not healthy food.
Okay, what is the cause the poor nutrition of different countries?
Um, like I said before, a lot of the cause behind malnutrition is not having access to the proper kinds of food. For example, in countries like uh, Kenya, we can see that now they've developed quite a bit, but in some other African countries where the weather is very dry, they don't get a lot of water, it's difficult to grow healthy food, and so are they're either affected by malnutrition because they don't have access to enough food, or in other places like here in Mexico, I think people who are affected by malnutrition are affected because of uh, the wrong kinds of food that don't have enough vitamins and all of the good things that your body needs. For example, I believe I'm correct in saying that here in Mexico it is cheaper to buy Coke or a different soft drink, maybe a juice that has a lot of sugar. That's cheaper to buy than it is to buy milk. And so a lot of poor families that don't have the resources to buy healthy foods that really nourish children and nourish adults as well, they they resort to cheaper, more sugary, chemical enhanced products. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, uh, in your opinion, what is the worst phenomenon, the obesity of the poor nutrition?
Um, they both have many different consequences. However, my opinion is that people who um, are categorized as obese or are put into the obese category are in that category because of the choices they've made. They've chosen to eat the bad foods that you know will cause you to grow and gain more weight. Um, and they usually do have enough money to buy other foods. I mean, if they're able to buy McDonald's, they should be able to buy vegetables, you know? And so it's, for me, it's like people who suffer from obesity, um, I feel like they've put themselves in that situation, and at the same time, they can make the decision to eat healthy, and hopefully they have the money to eat healthy. However, in my opinion, the people who suffer from malnutrition, the large majority of the population who suffer from malnutrition because they don't have access to nutritious foods, or they can't afford healthier foods. Or, as I said, in certain countries, specifically in desert type climates, or in countries, African countries is a good example just because of the high rate of poverty in Africa. It's very hard for them to find the good food. So for me, I feel like that condition is worse because unless something extreme happens, like all of a sudden they get enough money to buy food, things like that, then I don't know how their situation can change. Also because of the fact that a lot of the time people who suffer from malnutrition suffer because they don't have enough, and that's something that they really can't help. Whereas people who suffer from obesity, usually it's because they choose to eat foods that are bad for them. Um, anyway, as I said before, they're both consequential. They both have extreme consequences on the body. However, I do feel like people who suffer from obesity are in a better position to change how they eat. People who are malnutrized, that's not a word. People who suffer from malnutrition, they can't help it. Some can. I feel like here in Mexico, if a child has black teeth, someone needs to tell the parent that they can't be feeding babies Coke. For me, that's something obvious. But in the case of most of the world, if people suffer from malnutrition, it's because they don't have access to good food. So I feel like malnutrition is something that should be a high priority. And yeah.
Thank you, Miss Mary. Thank you for interview because I know that your time is very special. Um, for the audience, thank you for watching, and I hope see you later. Have you a good day.